Rightio. It's not going to be the normal video. Well, a normal video. But I feel it's something you should know. Um, this video is more for the Johny paranormal viewers that I've spoken to in the comments of live videos and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm not just a funny bugger. Yeah, don't always make jokes and stuff. We spoke of hauntings and being in the dead zone and stuff like that. The farm's 5-10 minutes away from here, so I'm not sure, but I'm not sure when I'll get time to actually show you the area in which all these things happen, whatever, in the farmhouse and stuff. I can't show you anything paranormal. All I can do is I can tell you my stories. I've got a couple. So I have actually done this one once before, but the footage has gone missing. I don't know what the go is there. It's missing off of YouTube. Anyhow, come on, cat. Cat's just knocking me tripod around. So we've got a section of land which is now one paddock, but it used to be called the Hayshed paddock, and it was about 50 acres. Anyhow, it's got a hayshed on it and some ruins and an underground tank. There used to be many years ago a house there as well as a hut. They lived in a tin hut before they built the house, and that stood for a long time, and eventually the wind pushed it down, and the guys who lease the property now from my dad, they actually moved the concrete that the hut sat on, and yeah, so they could work through it with wider equipment. See, we used to go around it. That used to be one of the things that we used to do. Anyway, there's an underground cellar there. This cat's trying to push me tripod. I better just pick it up and pat it instead. It's my shed cat Lola. So there's an underground cellar there, and there's the floor pan of a house and an underground water tank. And I don't know what happened in the family. I can't remember. Growing up, I've been told the story 100 times, but I've not remembered. But in the cellar, apparently, like this paddock always used to be spooky. Always felt creepy, and I never knew why. And we used to use open cab tractors back when I was earlier than my teens. I was driving tractors before my teens. And it used to be spooky around this one end of the paddock. Anyhow, years go by and we work out why. So there's this underground cellar and the roof's gone. You know, like it's been gone all my life. I'm like 35, so I've never seen it with a roof. But apparently back in the horse and cart day, before tractors were farming and all that sort of stuff, someone fell down there and broke their leg, and it must have punctured an artery or something. I don't know. I don't know the story too well, but they died. Anyway, it wasn't until I worked that out, or was told that the paddock no longer was spooky after that. So whether that's got anything to do with it, actually, it's good having this cat here. It's actually cold. For December in Australia, it's actually quite cold tonight. And it's like 3 a.m. and I can't sleep. I was just watching Johny Paranormal live stream, talking to some of you guys, if you jump over here at all, later today. So that's one story. My mum, when we were living in a house in Hoylton in South Australia, that my uncle still owns and no one lives in, her and a friend were sitting at the kitchen table, and I vaguely remember it. Me and Mum were only talking about it Christmas Day, actually. It's a relatively fresh conversation that we've had. And I can remember sitting on the floor And I'm a bit strange. I can remember like my first birthday and things like that, where a lot of people can't. This plastic bag just puffed up and rolled around or floated around and then went flat again after she'd been shopping. And you couldn't put it down to like a draft through the bottom of the house or anything like that, like through the, you know, under the doors or anything like that. Um, but the house has definitely had a haunted history, unfinished business or something, because I believe it was a Williams or somebody that lived there years ago, and he got sick and he wasn't allowed inside for anything other than a bath, and he lived outside in an above ground cellar with a below ground cellar underneath it, and he lived there until he got carted into hospital and died pretty much. And apparently, well, from what I can understand, is he was pretty negative towards his family because they treated him like shit. He had Parkinson's or something, or whatever Michael J. Fox has got. That guy. Come on, cat, don't touch me tripod. I'm gonna try and do this in one take, cat. Don't bloody knock me camera over. So anyway, hopefully that hasn't moved too much. Anyhow, so there was that. I'd seen one pair of glowing red eyes over my bedroom door as a kid, and I was in my early teens. And even though my old man says that the house was blessed and everything, which could be true, even in my teens, I was going through a pretty rough time. Uh, Broken house and or broken home, and uh, mum dragged some drop kicks back home, and I had some drop kick friends, and they experimented with all sorts of things. And sometimes in the spiritual world, shit just clings onto objects, people. Bad things follow people. It's all true. It all happens. Um, so yeah, and Mum has seen these red eyes as well. I can't remember where she said that she's seen them, but they appeared over my door. But she seen four eyes, so two pairs. And my brother, when he was Struth, well, I was preteen, and he'd seen them in the underground cellar where this is at the house at Hilton, where the guy he lived in the above ground. They were built on top of each other outside of the house there. He seen him in the bottom cellar, which consequently used to fill up with water periodically because the water table was pretty low. Well, not very deep underground, is what I'm trying to say. And every now and again it would rise and fill that room up with 6 inches of water. And I believe it was actually had 6 to 8 inches of water in it at that time. Um, but I remember him going out as a kid. So we had a toilet that was maybe 30 yards from the house, outback toilet. It was flushable, it wasn't a long drop. Anyhow, he'd gone out for a leak, so as us lads do, we don't need, you know, anything to sit on to go for a leak, so we just ran out off the veranda and out into the dirt and let it fly. Well, he did this one night, and I'm not sure if it was on the way there or on the way back, but he'd seen these red eyes, and we'd been working on motorbikes and stuff, so there was tools across the veranda and whatnot, and he kicked the toolbox that hard and was that scared that he just like bang straight inside. He didn't, have time to think of the pain until he got inside and realised what was going on. And yeah, this freaked the hell out of him. So that's another story. I will make a follow-up video to some of these stories in the places that I can still go, and show you where these things happened. Anyway, another friend of mine was playing for the Ouija board. I think I was at that party too, but I didn't get involved. Anyhow, he got chased down the street by something, and he wasn't a very athletic guy, and if you see him running, there's a reason. He got chased down the street for, this is in Balaclava, in town, or our closest town, and yeah, something just latched onto him and chased him. But that's his story, that's not mine. Anyhow, so a couple of years ago, how old's Hugo? He's 2.5. He wasn't born yet, but he was growing. To, my wife was pregnant. Wasn't my wife at the time. We weren't married then. Um, that only came after Hugo was born. Anyhow, on some land that my grandpa used to own, that my uncle inherited, that he sold. Long story short, neighbours of ours, good friends of ours, own it. They have a scrub, and we've got permission to hunt foxes and rabbits in there, and so we do, and other pest things and stuff like that. But mostly, foxes and rabbits, because they got cows and whatnot. And the neighbours got sheep, so we generally keep a bit of an eye out. Go and shoot these foxes. Try to. Sometimes we don't get any, but it is what it is. So you're standing on the back of a ute. Now for the Americans, that's a truck. Now when I say ute, like it's a D21 Navara, so it's a small ute. So 2.5 litre ute. Anyway, just to give you some concept of size. Anyhow, when you're standing on the back of a ute with a rifle in your hands, I don't know, you kind of feel invincible. Nothing really scares you. If the boogeyman was to come out, you'd think, oh yeah, you'd just shoot him. Big deal. When I say boogeyman, I'm thinking like cryptid type scenarios. You would think that. You'd be like, yeah, if I run into Bigfoot, I'd just shoot him. She'd be right. I'd get the photos and claim $1 million prize money. Yeah, she'd be right. No, it doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. So we're out there. It's not late at night. It might be 9, 10 o'clock at night. Maybe pushing on 11 o'clock. Anyhow, we're driving around the paddock. We've driven past this scrub that's been there as long as I've been alive. Can't find nothing. Anyway, everything just sort of goes quiet. Like even at night with moonlight and stuff, you're flashing a light around looking for foxes and rabbits if you want to go and put them in the stew, in the pot. So you're waking the birds up and they're chirping and they're fluttering around in the trees. They're making a noise. They constantly move around, Crickets chirping away and cicadas and things like that, constantly making a noise. And it's always a bit of a breeze. Well, I shit you not, it went dead quiet. It went dead calm breeze. It went cold, and every hair on my body stood up. And I knew somebody was watching me, and it wasn't good. So anyway, like I got a 270, a pretty large caliber rifle. And I've hopped back in the ute, looked at the missus and said, drive. So she's driving off, and I'm like, no, fucking drive. Put the fucking foot to the floor, like fucking drive. Get us out of here. Get me out of here. Because I'm the only one that felt it. This cat. So I'm the only one that felt it. She was clueless. I was the only one that realised we were being watched. So anyway, I'm like, get us out of here. And just wrong time, wrong place. Don't go there. Been there a million times. Probably been there, I don't know, 3 or 4 other times that fortnight. Never had it happen. Been there since. It's in the back of my mind, but it hasn't happened again since. So my old man, he reckons that maybe wasn't so much after me, but after my unborn kid, and maybe it was something demonic. It's possible. You see, when you start to open your eyes up and start to research some of the stuff that we've researched, and I'm not talking like flat earth or anything, although you stumble across that too, but like you start going into all the conspiracy theories, all of them, with an open mind and having a look and going, yeah, right. They're telling us this, but this is what's really happening in the background. you leave yourself open a bit, even if you think you're protected. You leave yourself open a bit for shit to cling on, and yeah, you don't even notice it sometimes. Sometimes it's not good. Things will follow you. Things will try and get you. You know, there's several bridges you must cross, I suppose, and you know, it's like people that have no faith, and then they decide they get a little inkling of faith, and they're sitting on that fence, and they're before they're saved. You know, like it's the last chance for the devil to get them. So it's kind of the same thing. It's like you're crossing another bridge. It's in another sector that you've never been an issue beforehand, but now you're a problem. You're a problem to somebody. Who? I'm not sure. I don't know. And if they don't take you now, they'll never get you kind of attitude. So this is what I'm saying. Like you gotta be a little bit careful. These are some of my paranormal experiences. There's some weird stuff that's happened. So yeah, like this is way left field from my normal videos. Animals can pick up on this stuff too. This one's alright, it's just annoyed them holding onto it because it wants to get out. Anyway, it wants to rub against my tripod. Tell you what, it's hard to get a good camera crew. Come on. Anyway, yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I know my cousin wants me to make a video of how I got started down this rabbit warren and thinking that things are flat and that, you know, the moon goes through portholes and stuff like that. Which I reckon I seen the other night, but that's, yeah, a whole nother story. Yeah, because most of my videos, as you know, are chainsaw related or just general life related. So yeah, or family related. I hope you've enjoyed that. I will go and do a video in some of the locations and explain in more detail whilst we're out there, but this is just a short one to upload for you guys tonight. Well, today. Alrighty, out for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And apparently if you turn the notification bell on, you get notifications. So there's that. If you don't want to subscribe, don't. If you want to, do it. If you just want to see other stuff, if you go back through my videos, I'm in South Australia. You know, you can check things out. It's up to you. Use your discretion. Check everything I say out for yourself too. If I'm telling you something, you know, like if I'm telling you that satellites are actually cell phone towers and there's only half a dozen that they put up via hot air balloon, weather balloon type scenario or whatever, you go check that shit out for yourself and you make your own mind up. Don't listen to what I say. So anyway, you'll be as confused as I am, or maybe enlightened. Who knows? Now for now.